Bitcoin seems to finally be breaking through 100K. And in this video, I want to go through something that I saw on Twitter that really shows you the importance of patience. Watch this video. I'm going to start it off at 1x speed, and then I'll speed it up over time because it's a pretty long video. I don't want you just sitting here waiting. I'll speed it up. You'll get to the end, and I think the reward will be worth it. I'll link that video in the description below. You can go watch it on your own time. You can speed it up, you can slow it down, you can do whatever you want to. But I think this is a really great illustration of what Bitcoiners have been going through over the last maybe 6 months to a year, even longer than that, where Bitcoin's price just seems to go sideways and everybody is telling Bitcoiners they're making the wrong decision. They're doing everything wrong. They're buying the wrong asset. The thing that they're buying is a Ponzi scheme. I think this is validation. I think this is the market telling Bitcoiners that they were right all along. If we take a look at Bitcoin's price, we can see here that there is a clear breakout. Bitcoin's price has gone up, then it came down. It basically went through this level here. It came all the way up here during the approval of the ETF. So right after the approval of the ETF, it came up to 73,000. It slightly went above the previous all-time high. Then it came down to 50,000 or so. Then it came back up and it went right through that initial level. So if we zoom out here, we can see this is the 2021 high. This is the 2024 high. And then 2024, near the end of 2024, I just broke out. And that's exactly what seems to be happening here. So the way that Bitcoin works, the way that supply and demand for Bitcoin works is there are periods where people are bored and they're selling, or there are periods where people are fearful and they're selling. I think that's what happened here. We can see a massive red candle here. In this daily chart, in this daily candle, we can see that the price went from 94,000. We can see the numbers at the top here. So it went from 94,000 to 85,000. It closed at 86,000. So people were definitely fearful here. So they sold, and anybody who was fearful got rid of their Bitcoin. And once they sold, you can't sell again. You can't sell your Bitcoin twice. You can sell it once. Once it's sold, it's gone. So once this person who sold here sold, the supply is gone. And over time, we see that we saw lower and lower lows until right here on April 8th, when Bitcoin's price was right above the previous all-time high. So this is the previous all-time high in 2024, right after the ETFs. Bitcoin's price went right above that and then it bounced right back. And we can see here in just a little while, this is since April 9th, Bitcoin's price went from 75,000 all the way up to 107,000 at one point today. Let's say you bought up here and you were patient. You waited and you waited. You went through all of this sideways chop, basically just boring movement. It just moved up, came down, moved up, came down, moved up, came down. I don't know if that's going to happen here again. Maybe for all we know, Bitcoin's price could come all the way back down here. Maybe that's what's going to happen. But let's see what happens. I actually think that we're going to break through this area right here, the previous all-time high that was set in late 2024 and early 2025. I think we're going to break through and we're going to see higher highs. I think that's what's going to happen over the next few weeks. And if you were patient, if you went through this, if you went through all of this, you are finally going to be rewarded. And like I said, I can't guarantee that that's going to be the case. Who knows? Maybe we just go sideways. Maybe Bitcoin's price falls again all the way back down to 75,000 or even 60,000 or 50,000 and then we recover. I don't know how likely that is though because if you take a look at bitcointreasuries.net, you can see all of these companies are buying more and more Bitcoin and they're accelerating their purchases over time. For example, Metaplanet, we can see here just a straight curve up. We can see that chart there. If you look at the holdings that they had in June of 2024, they had 117 Bitcoin. Today they have 6,796 Bitcoin. There are other companies like Riot, we see here. They had 8,872 Bitcoin in June of or May of 2024. Today they have 19,223 Bitcoin. So we can see here there's a lot of companies that are buying a lot more Bitcoin. We also have XXI 21 Capital. They went from having 0 to having 31,500 Bitcoin. This was seeded from, I believe, Tether, but they have 31,000 Bitcoin. Then there's other companies, Marathon with 48,000. Same chart here. We can see here they just keep buying more and more and more. They had 17,631 in May of 2024. Today they have 48,137. Let's expand this out here. We can really see what the numbers look like when they're growing on this long-term chart. Now let's take a look at MicroStrategy. Always the winner, 568,000 Bitcoin. In 2024, when the ETFs were just announced, they only had 189,150 Bitcoin. So since the ETFs were approved, they bought an additional 380,000 Bitcoin. Then lastly, we have the Bitcoin ETFs, which were approved in January of 2024. They went from having 0 Bitcoin, so net, meaning anything that existed before approval doesn't count. They went from having basically 0 to 561,200 Bitcoin. The price is going to go much, much higher. A lot of people are still thinking that we're going back to 30,000, 20,000, 15,000. I don't think we're going to see those prices again. I think the parabolic phase is next.